Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description. Inner peace, just a feel-good concept for meditation retreats. The science actually shows that mindfulness practices can reduce cortisol levels by up to 40% and dramatically improve our capacity for conflict resolution.
That's fascinating, especially when we consider Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings about peace being more than just an absence of conflict. He really challenges our Western understanding of mindfulness.
You know what's really striking about his approach? He emphasizes that life isn't just about acknowledging suffering, though that's certainly part of it, but it's equally about being in touch with the wonderful things that surround us every single moment.
Well, the way he frames it completely shifts our perspective on meditation, doesn't it? It's not about striving or achieving something, but rather recognizing what's already there.
Exactly. And here's what's really interesting. Studies have shown that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're currently doing. Thich Nhat Hanh addressed this decades ago when he talked about how we're constantly postponing our happiness.
That reminds me of his television set metaphor. Could you explain more about how he uses that to describe our consciousness?
Oh, it's such a brilliant analogy. He compares our consciousness to a TV with millions of channels. We're not just our sorrow, not just our happiness. When we're stuck in negative emotions, it's like we're letting one channel dominate our entire experience. The key is remembering we have the remote control.
The way he connects these personal practices to larger social movements is really powerful too, like his perspective on the peace movement needing to write love letters to Congress instead of just protest letters.
Right. And what's fascinating is how this aligns with modern conflict resolution research. Studies show that approaches emphasizing mutual understanding and positive engagement are up to 67% more effective than confrontational methods.
Well, that certainly validates his traditional Buddhist methods for resolving conflicts, doesn't it? Those 7 steps he outlined have been used for over 2,500 years.
Absolutely fascinating stuff. You know, the first method, face-to-face evidence with mindful breathing, is actually being adapted by some modern corporate meditation programs. Companies implementing these practices have reported up to a 30% reduction in workplace conflicts.
The practical applications of his teachings seem endless, like his suggestion about having a dedicated breathing room in our homes.
And here's what's really interesting about that. Environmental psychologists have found that having a designated meditation space can increase the likelihood of maintaining a regular practice by up to 70%. It's not just about the practice itself, but creating an environment that supports it.
So what you're saying is that these ancient Buddhist practices have real, measurable impacts in our modern world.
Precisely. And the neuroscience backs this up. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to increase gray matter density in regions of the brain associated with emotional regulation, learning, and memory. But what's really powerful is how he connects this individual practice to larger social change.
The way he describes it makes it seem both profoundly simple and incredibly challenging at the same time.
You know what's particularly interesting? Research shows that group meditation can create what scientists call a coherence effect. When people practice together, the benefits extend beyond the individual. Some studies suggest it can even reduce crime rates in surrounding areas.
That really speaks to his emphasis on community and collective practice, doesn't it?
Exactly. And when you look at the data, communities that implement these kinds of mindfulness practices show measurable improvements in various social indicators, from reduced violence to improved educational outcomes. It's like he says, peace in oneself, peace in the world.
Well, these teachings seem more relevant than ever in our current climate of global tensions and personal stress.
And that's really the key takeaway. These aren't just ancient philosophical concepts, but practical tools for modern life, whether we're dealing with personal stress, workplace conflicts, or global challenges. The foundation remains the same: breath, awareness, and presence.
And on that note, maybe we should all take a moment to just breathe and smile, as Thich Nhat Hanh would suggest.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.